everybody, and welcome to the Empowering Industry Podcast. I'm your host, Charlie Matthews. I am loving summer. It is super hot down here in Alabama, but absolutely loving it and enjoying all the things that come with that. But been on the road, which y'all know, and I'm excited to be back on the mic. And today I have a really special guest that I got to meet at AHR and at the Grumpus booth, actually. So shout out to them for introducing us. So Roger Wakefield, welcome to the show. Let's just introduce yourself.
I'm Roger Wakefield. I'm just a plumber, and I started plumbing in 1980. And about 6 years ago now, I had opened my own company a few years before, but I had to learn social media to learn how to make it grow. And I went to a conference and ended up discovering this unique tool that nobody knows anything about called YouTube. And in the last 6 years, I've become probably the biggest plumber in the world on social media. We've got the largest YouTube channel. We're doing amazing on TikTok, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. I mean, everywhere we're doing pretty good.
I love it. Just a plumber, just a plumber. But you do have an amazing YouTube channel. How to Become the Best Plumber is the name of the playlist there. And I think that's great, but I can't let us go down that too quickly. I want to know, why did you decide to become a plumber?
It's funny. I was literally in high school. I was managing a hamburger place, and one of my best friends worked with me. And we were at work on like a Tuesday or Wednesday night. It was really slow. I'm 16 years old at the time. And he looked at me and he said, "Are you going to do this forever?" And I thought, you know what? I'm 16 years old. I'm managing a restaurant. Life is good. And he looked at me and said, "So what happens if you quit or get fired? Who's going to hire a 16-year-old restaurant manager?" And I thought, wow, that's probably not very good. Well, a couple of weeks later, I either quit or probably got fired. And I ended up, later that night, we talked about his father and his three brothers that were all plumbers and how they loved what they did. They made good money. They had houses and apartments and stuff like that, and that they were just living the dream. And I ended up calling one of his brothers, and he helped me get a job in plumbing. It was the last half of my junior year. I'd quit high school, and I loved it. I mean, I loved plumbing. But luckily, I went back my senior year. I was far enough ahead when I quit. I was able to graduate with my class. So after getting out of high school, I tried a couple of other things, got right back into plumbing, and for the last 44 years, I've done plumbing. I've tried other things along the way, but plumbing is where it all started.
Yeah, and it sounds like your friend just planted that seed too. Whether they knew that you were going to come on board or not, just kind of seeing that potential in you, which I love about this industry as a whole. There's so much of that and leadership within. So we like to talk about plumbing here because people don't see it. It's everything kind of behind the walls. They don't call you until everything is hit the fan, right? And so I've seen your social media, and like coming from an industry where I had to kind of teach people how to use social media and introduce it. What made you fall in love with it?
I don't think that I fell in love with it just because it was great. It was necessity. I probably started my company about 3 years before that. I got ripped off by marketing companies. I tell people that I spent $47,000 to make my phone stop ringing. And, that's not what you want to happen when you spend that kind of money. But I spent a lot of money. The phone stopped ringing, and we started looking at what we could do different. Now, I had talked to other marketing companies about doing social media. And everybody there was like, "Hey, tomorrow's National Pizza Day, make a post." And I'm like, "Okay, what's that got to do with plumbing?" And they're like, "Well, nothing, but people will see you." And I thought, that's not really the way I want to do social media. So I went to a conference in San Diego. Going at the time, I'm 54 years old, so I think I'm going to learn Facebook, because when you're 54, that's about all social media is. And I get there and I'm walking down the corridor and there's a sign out that said, get in front of your customers using video. And I thought, okay, we could do that. We had already shot some video for some different ads and things. So I walk in, I sit down on the front row. And this guy walks in and walks up on the stage. And one of the first things he says is, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. And when he said it, I shut my notebook. I thought this guy's stupid. He didn't know anything about it. That's just where I store my videos. And I put my hand on the chair next to me and I turn around to get up because I'm going to walk out. And the back of the room is standing room only. And I turned around and looked up, thinking, okay, maybe this guy does know something. And the next thing he said is it's owned by Google, the largest search engine in the world. And I thought about how much money I was spending each and every month to Google to try to make my phone ring. And if YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world, why am I not spending any money there? Little did I know, once I started making content, Google would be paying me to put content there. So it's kind of crazy how it all turned around.
Yeah, and just stepping out to go get that training that you needed. I think that's really important. It's that, okay, what's going on? I'm trying to better my business. And so many times entrepreneurs, we're just making it up as we're going. We're trying to figure out, we really don't have the teaching behind that. I did go to business school, but they didn't teach me a lot of things that I had to figure out by just doing the work. But I love YouTube, for one. Everybody uses it. My kids use it. Even the ones that, are super restricted, they are doing the YouTube shorts and things like that and educating themselves on all kinds of things. Yes, entertainment, which I think is an element of it. And then understanding how YouTube actually works for business. And so kind of twofold there. But honestly, what you're doing and what I see is you're building this thought leadership around your expertise. And so your expertise is in plumbing. And so do you think of yourself as a thought leader, or when did you start thinking of yourself that way?
It's funny, if you've ever seen these little silicone wristbands that I give out, if you flip them over on the inside, it said blue collar workers are the original thought leaders. And I think that that's what tradespeople are. And I don't guess that I realized that until I was at a marketing conference and we're talking about different thought leaders and what they're doing. And I did. Somebody in my group says, Roger, look, you're probably one of the biggest thought leaders in the trades industry. And it's not just plumbing anymore. We started out talking to homeowners how to fix their own plumbing. Then we started talking to other plumbers how to do things right. Then we started realizing we've got plumbers, electricians, HVAC techs, roofers. We've got all kinds of tradespeople watching what we do. So we started changing our vocabulary. We started talking to all of them, saying, look, you understand that when you walk up and treat a customer like they're the most important thing you have to do today, you're going to have a better day. And it started helping everybody. We really did enjoy it.
Yeah, I noticed in one of your last YouTube videos about teaching people how to be a better manager and what does that all entail. So many great tips there. Y'all definitely check that out. But there's a learning, educating ourselves, that confidence that comes, because I imagine you walk into this and you've done a couple of videos, you said, to kind of get your business kicked off. But how do you get yourself kind of geared up to jump on the mic over and over again?
Yeah, the fun thing is I love what I do. We were talking about travel coming up and things, and I'm headed to a few different conferences. I love going to the trades conferences because I have everything from high school kids to grown men that come up and tell me, look, you changed my life. You took me out of a position behind a desk that I hated, and you told me that I can get out and do this. And I tried it, and now I'm making more money than I ever had. And when I hear that fires me up each and every day. You talked about getting out and learning YouTube. We sat down and got on YouTube and learned how to do YouTube. And literally, you talk about education and entertainment, and I think that we edutain people. We we bring education in, but we make them laugh, we make them smile. But at the end of the day, it excites me to know that I'm helping people. And I can make a good living at it. But if more people don't step up like me, right now there's 1 million unfilled trades jobs across the United States. And I was on Dr. Phil about a month and a half ago, and his research says that in 3 years, there's going to be 3 to 4 million unfilled trades jobs across the United States. Now, Charlie, when that happens, we're going to be hurting to get a plumber, an electrician, or an HVAC tech that's licensed and knows what they're doing out to our house. And if they are licensed and they know what they're doing, they're going to be charging a fortune because there's not going to be very many of them. The supply and demand is going to kick in. And everybody will say, well, that's not right. You know, that person's uneducated, that person's this, that person's that. Say whatever you want. When there's only 1,000 people in your town that know how to fix your problem, you're going to pay them whatever they want. And it's not price gouging. It's nothing like that. It is supply and demand because every other plumber is going to be charging that same amount.
Yeah, in the trades, just in general, across the board, even outside of plumbing, right? That is what keeps us going. That keeps our comforts. That keeps everything in alignment, if you will. No pun intended there. But there's so much value in the people that are doing this work, and we got away from talking about that and educating our children that these are really valuable skills to learn and jobs that we need. And so I definitely hope that, and I know that we are having that conversation. Part of it is out of necessity, but part of it is just the I guess even social media had something to do with it, but just being able to see into that world a little bit better and show people all the different careers that are out there in the trades. It is going to make a difference and show people, you know, how far we've come to. And things might have been, you know, dirty manufacturing back in the day. It's completely different now. And so there's just so much there. How are you seeing them engage online as far as our younger generation? Are they coming in? Or is it kind of people who are currently working right now?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. I think that we do get a lot of the younger generation coming in and say, look, I never even really thought about this until I watched you. And man, you showed me it's not really that hard to do. And it's funny because when I get on stage and speak, you know, I start off, I'm Roger Wakefield, I'm just a plumber. But then one of the other things that I talk about is how many of y'all have a toilet, a water heater, or a lavatory at home? And, you know, everybody laughs and raise their hand and whatnot. I'm like, okay, y'all know about as much about plumbing as I did when I got started. And that's what young kids are saying. They're like, look, I don't know anything about it. That's why I can't do it. It's like, well, I didn't know anything about it when I started. And, you know, we've been for the last 40 something years pushing kids, you've got to go to college or you'll never amount to anything. And that's not necessarily true. It's probably easier to go to work in the trades and eventually become a millionaire than it is to go to college and get a job and become a millionaire. So I think the opportunities are out there. And I think more of the younger generation are starting to see it. And that really is such a big deal.
Yeah, it's rewarding to really, I mean, honestly, if you spend any time with young people, you're just amazed at they know what they need to do every day. They know like the steps to get them to whichever path they go to in their career. They've got it all kind of figured out, and yet they don't. And so we invite them onto the job and we expect them to know because they have shown us that they know how to get things done, but we still haven't taught them the basics. And so we have to kind of go back and retrain ourselves, you know, that they don't know everything. And let's start by, you know, those apprenticeships and walking alongside people and helping them. I mean, really, I feel like that's a little bit of a disconnect.
And something you said a while ago, Charlie, about the buildings, anybody watching, listening to your podcast right now, look at the world around you, look at the buildings, look at the bridges, look at the homes, look at the apartments, look at the offices, look at anything. Tradespeople built and are repairing that and keeping it going each and every day. Whenever we lose our skilled trades, we become a third world country because nobody's going to be able to take care of the infrastructure. So this is something that we all better get behind and start pushing and supporting, or we're going to have a lot of problems in the future.
Yeah, and I think also we talked a little bit about this about, we haven't done this, we haven't seen this, we didn't know this was an option. Even when I think about like tools, power tools, or any kind of tool that I haven't used before, because I always like to take a pump apart, the impeller apart, and put it back on. And it takes me a minute to kind of get used to the tools again, right? And so it is just like training and practice that we need to do. The other thing I want to talk to you about, because I know as a thought leader, you're being asked to speak and kind of come into different corporations, different trade shows, and kind of raising that awareness. What do you hope to see from that work that you're doing? What do you hope to change or make an impact in with your talks?
No, it depends on what stages I'm in. I speak on stages for, this coming week, I'll be speaking about social media. And I teach people how that educating through social media can change the world. If I'm at trades conferences, which I'll be at later next week, it's getting to see the youth, whether they're in high school or college. I'm going to Skills USA in Atlanta, it's the national competition. And to be there and get to see all the kids that are getting into the trades. And at Skills USA, it's not just the trades, it's computer science, it's robotics, it's drones. There's a million different things they teach. And this is the national competition for all of it. So it is so neat what they do. But to get in there and get to see, like you said, some of these kids these days, they know what they want. They're willing to work for it and build for it. Then again, there's kids out there that are like, hey, look, I want to sit home and play on the internet all day long and become a millionaire. And normally that doesn't work, but that's what they're really pursuing. So I do feel sorry for them.
Well, and there's value in some of those games and the gaming where we see like the shift in all the electronics. So if you can just reach that person while they're on their phone, scrolling through YouTube, if you come up, just take not again back to that person that planted that seed for you. It's just like, hey, what if? So I'm inspired that you're out there making a difference and showing up for people because you've been doing this consistently and really learned how to get YouTube to pay attention to you. So I'm excited about that.
And that's so neat. And think about what you said. These days now, when kids are watching TV, when there's a commercial comes on, they go right here. They start flipping through what are their notifications, what's coming up, what's going on. If they see a clip of me or a short of me saying, hey, look, you can get out and get a job as a plumber, and in 5 to 8 years, you can become a master plumber and an entrepreneur and own your own business and grow it to whatever you want. And you can become the guy in the neighborhood that makes more money than anybody else. It's kind of crazy.
So Roger, how long have you been on YouTube?
6 years.
6 years, y'all. 6 years.
6 years. I started, matter of fact, I learned about it in March of 2018. April of 2018, we started putting up our first videos.
I love that. I want people to hear that because you can learn it and it's not a secret. It's out there. It's just being bold and starting. I mean, it really is because we've learned a lot. I know I have. I only started in 2020, but I've learned a ton of the things that I don't always do either. But I've learned, and I see the value in what you're doing. I want to tell everybody about your app because this just came out. So I was jumping on with Roger and he sent me the code to download the app on my phone. And like within 2 seconds, I've got this app. And so I want y'all to know about it. Roger, tell us about it.
It is the Wakefield app. We've been working on it for about a year. And there's a lot of free content on it. There's some paid levels to where we do coaching and live videos and direct question and answer sessions, which are really neat. But one of my favorite things about it is Wake Up with Wakefield. And literally, it's a morning motivational each day. A lot of tradespeople have heard their whole life. If you don't go to college, you're never going to amount to anything. And that is so far from the truth. And we talked about that a while ago. But to be honest, tradespeople get up and build America each and every day. And I've always loved morning motivationals, and I do my morning affirmations. I've got stuff on my mirror. I've got alarms and notifications that go off on my phone. But I decided that I wanted to shoot these videos and talk about different things about the trades. Get up, you're using your hands, build something, do a lot of different things. And it's really neat. And we've, like I said, been working on this almost a year now. We just did a soft launch a couple of weeks ago, and it's doing really, really well. So now we're just making sure we got all the bugs ironed out. We're shooting a little bit more content, but this has been fun because it's pretty much doubled our video out. Because now we're shooting videos and everything we do for YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and all TikTok and all that. Then we've got all these different videos we're doing for the app. So Charlie, it's been kind of crazy, but we're creating a resource there that tradespeople can have. It's a community where they can communicate and they can have their own live streams every week where they come in at different levels and can talk about problems that they're having at that level, or maybe they're thinking about moving up to the next level or opening their own company or whatever it is they want to do. So we've really spent a lot of time putting all this together.
Well, I can't wait to share it with everyone. I love that you built it specifically from them, for them, with kind of the experience that you have of what's made you successful, the positive affirmations, and we need that. We need it to relate to the work that we do every day too. So I absolutely love that. I think it's going to be great. I can't let you go without a little rapid fire. I want to know, what is your favorite book?
Think and Grow Rich.
All right, all right. I know that one. And what about music?
I'm a Willie Nelson freak,
Okay.
but also I love Jason Aldean.
Yeah,
There's a lot of good people out there, but when Jason Aldean got all this backlash over Try That in a Small Town, it was so sad because I think even before I ever heard that video or saw the video, I thought this is an amazing, good song. Look, I'm from small town Texas. And we see a lot of this stuff going on TV, and it's like, yeah, that would never happen here. And when that song came out, it's like that's exactly what I was talking about. So I love it.
Well, I love country music. I love all music, but I grew up loving country music. And so I love some of the artists the new artists. Jason Aldean, of course, has a lot of great music. Okay, so best advice that you have ever received.
Never stop learning.
Okay. And if you were going to talk to a young person coming into the plumbing industry, what would you tell them?
Keep your eyes open. Never stop learning. And that's really any of the trades industries. Most tradespeople, unfortunately, I got in to become a plumber. The day I got my plumbing license, I quit learning for about 15 years. And once I started learning again, it was a whole new world. I grew. I got better job opportunities, better offers, more money, more benefits, all kinds of things. Never stop learning, because you can learn your way up out of any situation. And whether you're male, female, black, white, red, green, whether you're poor or rich, I don't care. You can learn your way up. And an education makes all the difference in the world in your future. That really is absolutely.
Yeah, it makes me think of WaterWise Pro. He taught me the term leveling up, and we can do that, certifications or just skills. You're talking about Skills USA, which I'm really excited about. Just learn a skill, whether you use it for your work or not. It's so rewarding to have that. Nobody can take it from you. So, Roger, I'll give you the last word here.
Yeah, well, one thing that I was going to say is, parents send their kids to college and say, look, go to college, you'll figure it out. Why not send them to become an electrician, an HVAC tech, or a plumber? Let them spend a year or two trying to figure it out. If they fall in love with it, they're going to have a great career. If they don't, and they decide, look, I do want to go to college, I don't want to do blue collar work, at least they'll know how to fix their toilet, change a breaker, fix their air conditioner, something like that. They will be very, very beneficial around the house. The second thing is, if you're interested in the Wakefield app, you can text the word Wakefield to 26786 if you have Apple. If you have Android, text the word outhouse to 26786. That's the facility that we've built out here. And then the last one would have to be, and you're not gonna like this one. Hook 'em horns. You know, I'm a
You know,
diehard.
I wouldn't like that.
You know, on your LinkedIn profile, it does say the University of Alabama.
It is. I have to throw out a Roll Tide if we're just
You know,
proud.
I knew you would. I'd be disappointed if you didn't.
I love it. I love it. It's been a pleasure. I knew it would be. And just thank you for your time. If anybody wants to get in touch with you, I'm going to put all of your information in the show notes. So until next time, everybody, be empowering.
Thank you, Charlie. You're amazing.